Hi friends and fellow Earth Angels, it's Gladys. Welcome back to another one of my weekly Sunday card readings. And this spread will start by covering January 30th through February 5th, or whenever you're guided to watch, as I always intend these to be timeless readings, meaning whenever this video shows up for you, that is the time that the messages are meant for you. So welcome. We have a big week of energetic shifts this week. So I want to start with sharing that Venus is now direct, and on February 2nd, Mercury will go direct, and that means we'll have about a 12-week span of all planets direct, no retrogrades. So if you've been feeling confined, if you've been feeling like just especially with the Cancer full moon that we've been in, that energy coming up, like if the things that we've been on a loop, or old childhood stuff has been coming up, it's needed to come up and out for us to face it, to look at it, to alchemize it, shift it, work with it, understand it, learn from it, and being able to move forward in these brighter days ahead. We also have the new moon in Aquarius on the 1st, and the Chinese New Year also enters on February 1st. And that energy will bring in the Yang tiger. There's more to it, but again, we have massive energy shifts. So for me, I feel like lighter, brighter days ahead, but remember, that's always a choice. I know so many Earth Angels, you've been doing your healing work, and you've been listening and processing and healing and growing, and I just feel like that slingshot energy of kind of being just held back to kind of see all the things that energy is about to release. So, in so many different circles that I'm involved in, I just keep hearing, and within myself too, this repetition of not feeling like ourselves, or feeling tired or frustrated, or feeling the winter blues, all the doldrums, and again, if you're not in that space, that's wonderful as well. So, me personally, I kind of have my highs and lows, right? I've always on this spiritual journey, exploring some avenue of growth. So, I'm in a more, comfortable place, if I can say that, and just understanding, I'm so blessed to be conscious, to be aware of what exactly is happening with all these energetic shifts. So I can ride the wave. I feel like a really great surfer. Sometimes I fall off the waves, there's some still waves that still get me, but I always get right back up and get on it, and it can be a really fun ride if you are in flow, like I said, not necessarily resisting or fighting. And that's kind of been like an energetic lesson for me to learn, in being in flow, and hiking for me, and going down mountains, and making adjustments, skiing. These things are things that I've done in my life. Swimming, where I've always resisted or fought the mountain in some way, and I had to learn to kind of just go with the way the energy was pulling me, and being able to release into those fears. So again, maybe you've been facing your fears, maybe you've been making adjustments. Remember, it's all information and opportunities to learn and grow. So I just want to share a little bit from Yasmin Boland's support with her moonology work. I want to share about the new moon that's coming in, and how you can harness the energies of that this week. So especially with all the planets now shifting direct, and we've got this little break of clarity, and we no longer have to look at those contracts 3 and 4 times and leave an hour earlier and all that stuff. So, and again, that's all good too. So for the most part, for most of the world, the new moon in Aquarius will be on February 1st. For those on the West Coast, it will be January 31st. So here's what she says about this new moon Aquarius. It says, here is a solid new start, if there ever was one. The new moon this month is taking place pretty much on top of the strong and stable planet Saturn. So if you've begun 2022 feeling a bit out of control, this is a new moon to commit to getting back on track. If you're feeling confined, though, watch out, because that feeling can be exasperated during this time. Just know that whatever is going on in your life right now is happening so that you can learn something important, right? It's all about observation, being curious, as I'm reminded time and time again when I get swallowed up by my own fears and my own mind, and, really trying to grow in that energetic space and understanding that. We're reminded that we always have something to learn. Again, Mercury is going direct. So it's a great time you could be still in a place of being asked to learn a lesson that you should have learned a while ago. So this is just kind of like the loops, right? If, repeated patterns are coming up for you. I'm certainly recognizing old parts of me that I've thought I've grown through, and I've realized it's just giving me an opportunity to shift my actions and my approach from the needy, clingy way I may have done it in the past, right? Trying to force something, make something happen, right? If there's an opportunity or something with financial commitments, trying to force something, and now kind of being able to pull back and make better decisions with how I move forward in alignment, as opposed to, giving to get. So let me see here. The new moon in Aquarius. Other themes here. It's a really good time of year to make sure you're not pretending to be someone you're not. Are you trying hard to conform? So this is about identity and really being able to look at yourself. When making a list of intentions in this new moon, be a little out there. Don't be afraid of surprising yourself and others. So being able to go a little deeper with the manifesting. Even if it's to be able to release a pattern, an emotion, a relationship, an experience that's been challenging. So it says Aquarius is a sign of charity. Check in to see if you're doing enough for your fellow man or woman. Use the energy of the new moon to share wealth, time, compassion, if you have it. The more generous you are with people, the more generous people will be with you. Detaching from a situation can help you understand it. Better, so it's easier to find a solution. So again, this is about surrendering and getting more clarity about what it is that we do want. So in this Cancer full moon that you just experienced, a lot of stuff came up of I know what I don't want. And so, in my guidance, especially with working one-on-one with people, I encourage us to kind of look forward and turn the dial, right? So if there is a behavior or pattern or a type of energy that keeps showing up in your life, being able to look at it and saying, okay, what is it teaching me? What did I learn from it? And how can I move forward? That energy gives you clarity about what it is that you do want going forward, right? So in the simplest terms, it's for example, with, eating healthy, if you look at an experience where maybe you've indulged and it, maybe you had skin flare-ups, or maybe you had gut flare-ups, or maybe, you didn't feel very great, maybe you got a headache or something. And again, this isn't in its simplest physical form. This energy can be in so many different areas, but being able to, instead of shaming yourself or feeling guilty or blaming, being able to look at it and saying, okay, what am I learning about myself? Those things don't make me feel good, right? So what does? What is an act of self-love? What nourishes my soul? What allows me to feel, or what contributes to me feeling in a better place, right? And then when you can do that, you can turn the dial. What foods do I love to eat lately? I've been really craving oranges, and I hardly ever eat oranges, but I've been craving oranges, so I know my body needs vitamin C in some way, right? So instead of indulging in the cravings that I've been having in this emotional energy that we're in, I go take a moment to pause and really think about what is my body craving? What's what's in my refrigerator that I've intuitively bought that my body is craving. And I go to those things and I really savor it and enjoy it, and I appreciate it. If there's pain in my body, I really go to that Ho'oponopono prayer. I intentionally go to the area of pain in my body, bring it into my awareness, and I say, I'm sorry, I love you, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. That's what I'll say when I bring the attention. I say it so often, I forget to slow it down. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And I usually feel the immediate release of the energy in the area, and I just, again, thank my body for showing me that something's off. So being aware of how you're feeling, is going to be really important this week too, with the shifts of the energy. So anyway, that was just kind of like an intro and what's going on. Of course, there are incredible astrologers, and there is so much information about the Chinese New Year. I encourage you to seek that out in a way that feels supportive to you if you want to learn more. I just kind of give you a synopsis so that you can be aware of what's going on and then go where your heart desires. So the cards I'll be using this week to support you is the Keepers of the Light. I will pull a guide from the Keepers of the Light, and then we'll get a message of healing from the Answer is Simple Oracle cards. And then our action steps will come from the Angels of Abundance Oracle deck. And your gift, which you're being gifted with this week, will come from Queen of the Moon Oracle. And then finally, an overall message to support you this week, an anchor message to support you, will come from the Law of Attraction card. So I have a different set of energy, so we'll see how this all unfolds. It's always fun to see what the divine has in store. So let me open up space for us. Let me invite in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the divine mother and father, and all their holy beings of light that would like to assist with this guidance for you this week. And I'm going to ask that the messages that come through be for your best and highest good, and the best and highest good of all concerned. All right, let's get started. Keepers of the Light. What guide is best suited for this week? This week of energy shifts, January 30th through February 5th, 2022. Let's see here. What guide wants to come out? All right. Cernunnos, life force. I love that. Express your divine passion. Sensual and sexual powers are increased. I love this. So the attention I'm getting is going right down to my sacral chakra that is about an inch or two right below your belly button. It is an orange color, and this is where we have passion and creativity. And with this card, I almost feel like it's time to move energy. I really like to keep these readings G and PG. So if you have children, I'm going to try, who may be listening, I'm going to try to keep this PG. So when we talk about that passionate energy, understand that heightened energy can revitalize the system, right? So for me, I feel like this energy is calling to that area because there might be energetic stillness, or you may be feeling stuck in a passionate, creative, it could even be in its physical terms, desirable energy. So when I see this word life force, I get the energy that it's time to move. It's time to get energy moving through your body. I've seen myself and others kind of just being at a standstill in energy, or feeling still. Or again, if you've been in a really intense situation or experience, you might be in freeze mode. And I feel like this energy is coming out because it's time to start moving energy again. Maybe it's time to get moving forward. Maybe it's time, and again, when we kind of get into that comfort place of like procrastination, because that can be a shadow, addictive energy with earth angels, right? Sometimes when we get overwhelmed or there's so much light energy coming in or some big ideas coming in, we can certainly get overwhelmed and freeze, right? And then get distracted or procrastinated and clean the refrigerator 5 million times. So for me, it's vacuuming. I know when I am stuck in energy and emotions and I'm not moving, when I am vacuuming too much. That's kind of my sign. So, it will require you to take some space to sit in stillness. You can bring your attention right down to that area of your body. Again, it's like the area of your belly button and just below. Again, that's your passion. It is a sexual center. It is an area of creativity and joy and playfulness, right? And again, we're having all these really great energies shifting, moving us forward, right? I just keep hearing this song. I've been hearing it personally to myself. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. I'm not even going to try to sing it, but the age of Aquarius. And the age of Aquarius, obviously with the new moon in Aquarius, Aquarius energy is about freedom and forward future thinking. Aquarius energy is a dear beautiful light in my life is an Aquarius energy, and I learn so much from her. And Aquarius energy can be planning energy, can be forward thinking, it can be productive energy. So you want to really harness the energy of this Aquarius new moon to get you moving. It may require you to sometimes just go to the computer and sit down and just take one step. This is and it's not lost on me that I'm hearing this channeled message for myself as well, because my word that I chose this year is creativity. And it's been so fascinating how I've been drawn to ideas and things have kind of come along that you didn't even expect. Experiences just kind of came out of nowhere, connected to creativity and growth and process, right? So know that so many of you are in this area and you're about to slingshot forward. So this energy this week is encouraging you to move forward, explore your divine passion, what lights you up, right? Again, sometimes just going to art. Remember, in the masculine energy, creativity is problem solving. And if you are a feminine dominant person, too much problem solving can burn you out, especially if you're operating in the mind, right? So understand, remember that Aquarius energy can really be of the mind. But for a feminine dominant person, somebody who operates mostly in the feminine energy, constantly being in the mind and problem solving and giver mode can burn you out. So that I feel like that's like an exclamation point here. So if you have been tired, if you have been feeling depleted or short or snippy, needy or clingy, again, just check in and just see if your mind has been at rest. Are you taking time to meditate? And again, if you aren't, that's the energy that we've been in. It's really hard to get into that space. So these are some just action steps of where you can start this week, listening to some calming music. Again, you might have to just push yourself a little bit, nudge yourself a little bit. And then when you feel that peace through in your body, remind you how beneficial it is. It's like living water. It's like, nourishment for your soul is to go within, right? And get out of the mind, the action, the problem solving, and the giving, right? There needs to be some balance with that. So from there, you can go down into that area, deep in your belly, deep in your gut area, and being able to just ask, what does it need? Again, it may be sexual energy. It's a very creative energy. It might need to be moved. It may need to be finishing up a project. It might be facing some fears, right? It might be doing some things that bring you joy, right? Children are really great with bringing us joy and laughter. They remind us of our innocence. So if you're blessed to have children in your life, play with them. Maybe it is finger painting or baking something with them, or letting them play and just observing, playing pretend. As adults, we kind of feel like sometimes it's silly, or, it's childish, but it really can move energy, especially if you're in that addictive place of like procrastination or overwhelm, or really struggling with self-esteem, worth, and value, right? That's limiting your potential. So yes, let me see here. Well, let me go forward here. That being said, what is your message of healing this week? So this is the Answer is Simple deck, and this is a shadow and light card. It works with the ego and the soul. So I want to say, Cernunos. What message of healing do you have for the Earth Angels this week to support your life force energy, the energy of movement, getting things going again? Oh, let me go with that. Connect with your soul family. I love it. It's a beautiful card because it's a reminder that we're not to do it alone by ourselves anymore. So it is card number 20, right? We're in the year 2022. It is a 6 universal year, right? So all the planet, despite your own personal year, the entire planet is going to be touched by the 6 universal energy, which is connected to home and family and community and creativity, right? There's that energy again, self-expression, speaking our truth. And so remember, we are now in a space of redefining what those energies are to us. If you are a writer, the way you write might change. If you are a doctor, the way you work with your patients may change. If you are an intuitive and healer, an artist, if I didn't say that already, the way you work may change. So I feel like they're reminding you to be in flow, or be open to inspiration and doing things differently. Again, we are creatures of habit, and I do know as a quadruple Cancer, for me it's really challenging to come out of my comfort zone. And so connect with your soul family. Maybe you have some people in your life that you haven't heard from in a while. I've been reconnecting with some beautiful souls from my past, from 14, 15, 16 years ago, and it's like time has never passed. And I just remember like how much I love humanity and I love God's people, and through circumstances and challenges, it's just kind of bringing us together again, and it has just been really lovely. And I had this I kind of fell into this slump where I was feeling alone in my journey and experiences that I was having. And this energy reminded me that I'm not alone, that we're all in it together, that we are one. And again, this is why I caution about getting too deep into the mind and the world of illusions, which, if you haven't watched last week's reading, was all about illusions and kind of using your heartstrings to kind of navigate like really the mind energy and stories that we tell ourselves that are not true, right? And so this week, lighter, brighter energy is connecting with your soul family. This is not just physical people, maybe people from your past or people who've been a source of support with you, but also, and again, this can also be like laughing and playing, but this also too is the divine, right? For me, my angel guides, the archangels are my family. They have been with me time and time again. It never fails. They show up for me always. And the archangels are my best friends. I think, I've said this many times, the archangels were my first love. They brought me back to God and the divine on deeper levels. And I don't know where I would be if I didn't have that soul family. So it doesn't necessarily mean if you don't have close friends, let's say, or maybe you're in that shift, maybe you're growing and you're noticing that some people in your life might not be a vibrational match. And And that's okay, because when you free each other, it gives both of you or the group a time to explore other options and heal on deeper ways with deeper energies, right? So, we've had to really kind of learn how to be okay with whatever happens next and be in the energy of allowing people to come and go in our lives, right? This is where if we've gotten into that place of needy or clingy or, obsessive energy, which earth angels can get in the shadow, especially with this Aquarius full moon, it'll start to come up. They're saying go higher, go to your soul family, and being able to shift the way you did things in the past that might have been reactionary. You want to act instead of react. I'm loving the green energy here and the purple energy that's integrated. This feels like very heart chakra energy. So let's get into your action steps this week. Action steps. What action steps would most benefit you this week? Cooperation instead of competition. Well, then, it kind of goes along with getting out of that energy. This can happen often in the spiritual community, because the feminine energy of wisdom, connection, feeling, insights, intuition, receptivity, being able to receive, because those energies have been demonized, suppressed, shamed, banished, stoned, beheaded, banished in past lives. There is this how do I describe it? There is this newness of experiencing abundance, right? So sometimes in the spiritual community, the energy of lack is what helps earth angels specifically come into their power and their gifts to financially support themselves in those areas. So because of that, because of moving through the ego, because of like that feast or famine energy, and again, because it's also in the feminine energy of creating financial security and independence, it can breed, it's a stage, it can breed competition. And looking at what other people are doing, and I know it's not purposeful or conscious in a lot of ways, but it will just perpetuate more lack. Even if you are well off, which I've seen in cases, people can still feel in lack in other areas. So I feel like this card is saying cooperating with the divine, finding new ways of doing things, and what other people are doing and how they're doing it is none of our business, really. So that being said, wow. So it says what's yours is yours and no one can take it from you. There's no need to compete as there's an abundance for all. You have a complete access to unlimited abundance for yourself and to share with others. With cooperative partnerships, you can accomplish anything, right? So this is co-creating with others. And so in my description about the Aquarius new moon, it talked about this is a sharing moon. This is a moon to be generous, right? With our time, our energy, our love. We're kind of coming out of this space. We're living in a society right now which amplifies competition, right? It's separate and divides, and it's an illusion, kind of like what we were talking about last week. It's an illusion that keeps you stuck in a vibration of lack, unconsciously for the most part, until you're conscious of it. And then from there, and again, it can also be very depleting and draining. So you want to really have a come to Jesus session with your mind this week and where your energy has been. Since I have made adjustments with my own life and where I choose to put time and energy, my life has changed tenfold, 100-fold. I've really grown and really have come into a place of being in love with myself and life. And that I attribute to making adjustments with what I'm looking at, what I'm seeing, and where I'm putting my energy. And so I choose experiences, opportunities, people, places, things, ideas that contribute to a healthy quality of life for me. And I've made adjustments away from the things that are draining, soul-sucking, exhausting, judgmental, gossipy, all that stuff. And again, remember, friends, I had to deal with all those things within myself. Judgmental, gossipy, draining, exhausting. I had to deal with my own stuff connected to that energy, right? And that's where I could release the ties and binds. So again, we're moving into a more cooperative energy. And this starts within the self. So check in. Are you competing with yourself? Are you competing with yourself? Are you cooperating with all parts of you? Are you listening to your inner child? It is another energy that can really support you right now, is really working with that energy of the inner child. And when it wants to pitch a fit and, like throw a tantrum, it's telling you something. There's something to know in that energy. So I feel like this beautiful energy is like time to get moving again, trying to get out of the competition, trying to get out of the so what I'm getting is the impatience, trying to force something, make something happen, because people don't realize the impatience with your journey and your process. And with Earth Angels trying to do too many things at once, you lose yourself. You lose yourself. You lose the reason why you're doing what you're doing. And that is something that, I've worked with for many years now, is like, I'm very clear about what my core values are and what my boundaries are. And when I seeded those in my vibration, I no longer attract all the things. I no longer feel like I need to do all the things and stay relevant and, grow and expand, because I realized it was coming from an egoic place. And remember, there are so many people who are in that space or have been in that space or not yet in that space. And it's a stage. It's a stage that you have to go through. So I'm hoping that hearing these messages can move you through it faster. And so once you can get back into what your core values are, because it's not uncommon in the spiritual field for people to lose themselves, right? For material spiritualism or for personal gain, for the illusion of, bigger and better. And again, it's a vibration, and there are some people, many people in this world who stay in that space. But Earth Angels can't stay in that space too long without getting corrupted, overloaded, and toxic, right? So, and I use that word meaning like inside, like emotional and, again, competitive and needing to be needed and needing to stay relevant. And, we see this in the social media communities with attention, right? Likes, follows, all those things. And again, they're not bad, but because Earth Angels are chameleon-like and are very sensitive to energies, if you're not mindful of what you're immersed in, you can become that without knowing it. And that can erode your system and pull you away from your core gifts, your core values. And again, it's just a pendulum swing. Once you notice, and then you swing back. Well, what is it that I want? How do I want to feel? And then there's the patience to make the adjustments. Personally, that's what I've been doing the last 3 years. I have been available. Again, and I contribute to this. I've been available and what everybody else has wanted me to be. And again, I felt like that was being a good teacher. I felt like that was, being that people pleaser part of me. But because of that, because of being kind and available and open, there were other parts of me that were being compromised. There were other parts of me, this fiery part of me, this rebellious part of me, this person who wants to say no to protect my own self could not come out. So I had to explore my own identity and my own values and the person that I was projecting. And so, and I know many Earth Angels, because I've been working with you, are all digging in and uncovering this. And it's so exciting. It's so empowering. It's so liberating. And I just, from my perspective as my human design as a projector, I just say, look out world, when, these souls awaken and they come out, there's no stopping them. And I'm so grateful to be working with so many of you that are, doing your inner work and healing and, preparing to put your gifts out into this world. So this is where we get back to cooperation in our soul family. Anyway, I just feel like I'm saying a lot of words here, but I think this is important. Sometimes we have to look at the shadow side of things. Again, I see, I personally have been in this spiritual community, this field for 14 years. I've been working professionally, but more than that on my own spiritual journey, and I've seen a lot of things, friends. So there's a lot that's going to be revealed and uncovered. I think we're already seeing it in the world with false prophets being revealed, and those that may be disingenuous or have lost their integrity in a way. But again, it's all good. It all needs to happen because it's all parts of us that are needing to come to surface to face. We've all been in those spaces, right? In some form or another. So nobody is perfect. Absolutely nobody. So anyway, all right. So what are you being gifted with this week? This being said, what are you being gifted with this week? Queen of the Moon Oracle. What are the Earth Angels being gifted with this week? I'm going to pull two here. Nourishment. I love it. Card number 7. 7 for me is a divine feminine number. It is an introspective number. It is going within. So I feel like with cooperation, connection, moving this life force energy, it has to start with yourself first, right? If you're going to partners, let's say, for this release, or you're going to old paradigms that aren't in alignment for you anymore, or you're in competition energy and pretending to be cooperative, we've got to face those this week. And so being able to go within these energies, life force, connecting with your soul family, and cooperation has to start with yourself first and the divine. I know I will say it over and over and over again. The pathway to liberation and freedom is through God. God, and I say that in the most broadest of terms, source, creator, universe, God, goddess, yin, yang, whatever that energy is for you, whatever that higher power is for you, that is the only pathway. And I know some people may not agree, but in my own experience, I've tried everything, and I found moving leaps and bounds in my life, in all areas of my life, have come from co-creating with Creator and God. And so whatever faiths, whatever philosophies that, and whatever words you use that aligns with that is perfectly fine. Because again, we are all one. So nourishment, you're being gifted with nourishment this week. So let the new moon energy, the dark moon, again, it's a shadow moon. It's a very feminine energy in the new moon. So you want to allow that energy to fill you up and to nourish your soul. This could also be, especially, I'm channeling this reading in the midst of a blizzard. We have a blizzard here up in the Northeast, and I don't know, I think there's 2 feet of snow right now outside my apartment window, and it's mana. Snow is mana. It's food. We're in winter here in the northern hemisphere, especially in the Northeast. We are definitely in the thick of it. It never fails. There's always a storm up here, some type of blizzard or some type of snowstorm when Mercury goes retrograde. This one is at the end of retrograde, of course. It never fails. So, but it's also nourishment for the earth, right? All the snow that we're getting here, maybe you're somewhere that you're getting rain, maybe you're getting some type of storm in some way. Know that it's nourishment for the planet, for the earth. It needs to happen. It's part of the process in preparation for spring, right? For everything to grow in the spring. So eat, nourish your body, drink water, especially if you're home and you're not active. It can be... we could forget to drink water. For some of you, I do want to remind you of that. If you're in your house and you've been in a warm house and heat, you're still sweating and you're still depleting those fluids. And so you want your brain to be lubricated, your cells to be lubricated. So, just remind some of you to have water is very nourishing foods. And even like friendships and laughter and play is also nourishing. So the other gift is faith. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. And we have a pregnant woman here, right? Birthing new things. This is the energy we were talking about with life force and creativity, energy of fertility. For some of you, you may be very physically fertile right now. So this may be a good time if you're wanting to extend your family. And this is also a great time to be mindful if you don't. This is the card 31, 3 + 1 = 4. 4 is an energy like get back to work, right? It's a very grounding energy. And so I feel like this card is reminding you to get back to your faith. If it's a physical child that you have been working towards or manifesting, the energy of faith is coming in. But also remember that energy can come in many different ways. It may not be physically giving birth or conceiving, but there might be other ways. So being open to that coming in. Let's see, it is a full moon here. We got like full energy here, so you might be feeling it this week. And also to the divine, it's like you're being gifted with the fullness of faith and nourishment. It's so healing, and this is a restful energy, friends. When we're in this competition energy, or we're in like people pleasing or procrastinating, things like that, it can be very depleting when we're operating in the mind of what we should and shouldn't be doing. So I feel like this, just these energies, as these cards are alone, are gifting you with healing this week. They're gifting you with basics, right? Basic nourishments that will help you thrive with your gifts and you being a beacon of light on this planet. All right, so I'm going to finish here with the, what is this? The law of attraction, right? It's the law of attraction. Yes, law of attraction cards. I haven't used these in a very long time, but I felt guided to use them. And this is going to be like just an overall message to support you this week, kind of like an anchor message, something that you can kind of fall back on throughout the week. So if there are words that pop out to you, just kind of jot them down or put them on a sticky note or something, just to kind of anchor you in the energy of this beautiful, lighter, and sweeter, kinder, softer energy this week. So all right, Sir Nunos, what overall message do you have for your Earth Angels this week? All right. Oh, I love it, of course. Person in a cage, right? It says, I do not need to monitor my thoughts. So sometimes with the law of attraction energy, especially those who are sensitive to energies, can obsess about being paying attention to what's on your mind. Oh, I don't want to think this way, or I don't want to be in this fear because I don't want to manifest, or I don't want to attract it. But sometimes looking at it, facing it, being curious about it is the answer, and how to move through it. So I feel like this is a really great message, especially with getting out of the mind this week and back into the body, back into play and love and oneness and faith and nourishment. It's reminding you this week that you do not need to monitor your thoughts. So It says here, rather than trying to monitor your thoughts, pay attention to how you're feeling, right? Again, drop down into your body. She's so in her body here, right? Playing, laughing, again, nourishment. There's no coincidence that there's food all around this energy, right? For if you should choose a thought not in harmony with your broader intentions, you will feel the discord. And then you can redirect your thought to something that feels and therefore serves you better. This is what I was talking about earlier about looking at those things that we don't want, right? Instead of saying like, oh, I don't want to pay attention to it, I don't want to look at it. If you do, dropping down in your body, like, this doesn't feel, again, getting back to values and your boundaries, or what your core values are, getting back to that and being able to reaffirm and seed those energies deep within will help you intuitively know when making decisions if they're coming from cooperation or if they're coming from competition. You know, if your soul family and people that you're aligning with are truly soul family, or if there's an agenda there, right? A way of personal gain on some level, or deceit. You know, we're human, right? And we're all in different stages, so it can happen. So I feel like this is just a reminder to get out of your mind and get into your body, how your body is feeling about experiences. Something might feel off or not right, and so when it does, like say something is somebody's saying something to me and I feel kind of like that pull in my solar plexus or my stomach area, I don't always know if it's a trigger for me from my past or if it's the energy of the person in the way that information is coming towards me. And so I will always ask if something sounds like or could be passive aggressive, or there could be a microaggression, or I could feel like I'm being put down, or I'm not being heard or listened to, or that my communication is off. I will feel it in my solar plexus. And so I'm really good about saying, well, what do you mean by that? Can you explain that? What's your definition of that? Because that helps me practice discernment if they're my own triggers from people who have done those things to me in the past, or if it is my body saying there's something not right about this energy, this experience, these words. Is there more to it? So me having that boundary to be able to pull back and create space and say, well, what do you mean by that? Or pulling in myself, like if somebody's asking me a question, I'll pull back within myself, drop down into my body, and check in with the words and how it was presented, how I'm feeling. I'll give space, and then I'll respond using that energy of expression, right? Usually I call on Gabriel, the angel of communication, and I will respond from an authentic place of integrity based on what I know and how I feel based on what I know. So I am good about giving myself space in that area, and I feel like that's why sometimes when we're in the mind, we're not necessarily connected to the body and listening to its wisdom. So again, redirect your thoughts to something that feels and therefore serves you better. So what feels good? And then what if the explanation comes out, or, and there's an energy that shifts it, I'm like, oh, okay, great, thank you. But again, well, tell me more about that. What do you mean by that? What's your definition of that? Or what does that mean to you? Those are all ways that you can better communicate so that you have all the information to be able to make the best decisions, right, for yourself. So I see like mind, body stuff this week. I see getting back into peace and aligning and laughter and excitement, and I'm really looking forward to how this energy unfolds this year. Again, we're just getting ready to have all the clouds and storm be lifted. Another thing that I want to say, if you start seeing rainbows are a sign of brighter days to come. So if rainbows start popping up in your life, it's a reminder that the storm is behind you, it's past you, and the sun comes out with rainbows, and it's time to look forward to brighter days ahead. So that's your sign if rainbows happen to pop up. If you do see them, definitely write it in the comments what your story is, and let me know how rainbows might be popping up in your life this week. All right, so let me close space for us. I feel like that's all I need to say this week. So let me thank all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the divine mother and father, and all their holy beings of light that assisted with this guidance for you today, especially Cernunos. I really pray that I did his name justice, or did the energy justice, the guide that came in this week. And I'm going to ask that any healing that was started continue for as long as it needs to be done. And so it is. All right, friends. So I have been doing a bunch of New Year's special readings. So it was a combination of numerology and angel cards, and they have been profound. They have been fun. I very much enjoyed them. So I am going to extend that special through this week as we go into the Chinese New Year and that energy. So if you are still interested in that, that will be, that will be done next Saturday, February 5th. So I will take that off my calendar. So you do have one more week if you want to do that. You can purchase it and book it, into, later in the year if you want, or at another time. It's completely up to you how you want to do that. But if I can be of support to you, if you are on a loop or you're working through some stuff and you want some one-on-one work, all the information, all the services that I'm providing right now is in the description box below and on my website at GladysEllen.com. So thank you so much for watching. I love you. God loves you so much. Trust your intuition, trust the divine, and I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.